Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. Have you ever wondered why some marriages succeed and stand the test of time and other marriages fail? Have you ever questioned why it is that some couples can just get better and better with time and others hit little roadblocks, little speed bumps in life, and it destroys their relationships? Well, if so, I wanted to create a special video just for you today to help you understand what it really takes to create a happy and fulfilling, successful marriage that's going to last. So I'm a simpleton. I like to break things down into the simplest components because I think in life, us human beings tend to make things much more difficult than it needs to be, right? We struggle with losing weight and we read books and diet programs and buy this exercise thing off the infomercial, when the reality is we need to eat better and exercise. So life, I believe, when you really look at it, can always be broken down into its simplest components. And I believe the same thing can be true for a successful marriage and a successful relationship. So I believe that there are 3 steps to having a successful marriage that's going to stand the test of time. Excuse me, it's Monday morning. Didn't have my coffee yet. So step number 1, okay, is you got to know yourself. What do I mean by that? It means that you have to be secure in who you are as a person. That doesn't mean you have to love everything about yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean that you have to like everything. Look, there's some things about me that I don't like. There's some things about me that I'm insecure about. There's things about me that, especially in the past, that I had to work on. I wore a hairpiece for years because I was so insecure and so self-conscious about my hair. And that was my stuff. But ultimately, you got to get over that, and you got to find someone who's going to love you for those little idiosyncrasies, because in the big scope of life, those things really aren't that important. But step number 1 is you got to know yourself. You got to be secure in who you are. I say the best way to do that is to simply take some time, take a step back, and ask yourself this question. If you were going to commit the rest of your life to a person, would you commit to you? If you say yes and you truly mean it, it's not, your mind or your ego, but you say, yeah, I've got so much to offer. I've got a huge heart. I would make a great partner. Then you know what? Then I believe you know yourself and you're secure. So then you would move on to step 2. Now, this is really important because you need to pick a guy who knows himself, who is secure in himself as well. Because you could be the most secure person. You can have a lot to offer. If you pick an asshole, I'm sorry to say it, the marriage isn't going to work out. You'll have a relationship, but it'll be a terrible relationship. It'll be crappy. It'll never give you the results you're looking for. So you have to find a guy who is secure in himself, who knows himself. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have little idiosyncrasies as well. We've all got them. That's what makes us unique. That's what makes us you. But you'll love those idiosyncrasies about the guy, and he'll love yours. But the key is finding and picking a guy who knows and who is secure in himself. Now, the beauty in this is all you got to do is sit back and pay attention. He will show you. If a guy comes on really strong in the beginning, then you know what? He's not secure. He's desperate. He's needy. Not a good relationship partner. If the guy's controlling, he's jealous, he's manipulative, he doesn't allow you to have outside interests, he doesn't support you in what you want and what's important to you, then you know what? He's not the right guy. That marriage would never last. It would never be a success. It may be a mutual coexistence, but it'll never lead to a happy and fulfilling marriage. So step number 2 is you have to pick a guy who really knows himself and who is secure in himself. Now, the 3rd step, and this is a really important one, and this is the reason why most marriages fail, because they get to this point in the beginning and everything's good, and then they stop. And so the 3rd step is to be committed to each other's growth. So what do I mean by that? See, in life, if you study nature, everything in life is growing. It's either in a state of growing or it's in a state of death, it's in a state of decay. Well, a relationship works exactly the same way. So your relationship is either growing and it's getting stronger and it's getting better, or it's starting to die. And one of the biggest reasons many marriages and relationships fail is because the people get each other. They work really hard to get each other. Then they get married, and then they get into this thing called life, and they stop putting that energy into each other's growth, to making sure that they grow as individuals and as a couple. I've always asked Joe, it can't be this easy. And I'm like, it really is when you pick the right person. See, one of the reasons I believe my wife and I's relationship is so successful is because from the beginning, we were both committed to each other's growth. She was always invested in helping me be the best me that I can be. And there's nothing that I want more than helping her be the best her that she can be, because I know by doing that, that's going to make my life better. And we're so committed to the relationship as a whole that it's not about me or her, it's about us. What do we have to do? And life is throwing a tremendous amount of speed bumps and roadblocks at us and obstacles. But because it was about what do we need to do, those speed bumps, those road bumps, those roadblocks, those obstacles have actually caused our relationship to get stronger. And this is what happens in life. Life is going to throw shit at you. I guarantee it. I don't care who you are. And that stuff that life throws at you is designed to make you grow as individuals and as a couple. And if you don't realize this, and if you don't work together during that time, it's going to be like cracks in the ice. It's going to start to surface, and it's going to start to get wider and deeper until eventually it collapses and it falls apart. And that's why most relationships fail. That's why most marriages fail. So if you want to have a great, successful, happy, and fulfilling marriage that's going to last the test of time and get through this thing called life, I suggest you do these 3 things. It's to know yourself, be secure in yourself. Pick a guy who knows himself and who is secure in himself, and then be committed to each other's growth as individuals and as a couple. And I promise you, with 100% certainty on everything I own, if you do that, you will have a relationship that most others only dream about. So here's your mirror time exercise. I want you to look back over your life, and without any judgment, I want to say which one of these 3 things has been missing for you. Has it that you really haven't worked on yourself? You don't really know yourself. You're insecure. You go into relationships because you're afraid, you're needy, you're desperate. Whatever it is, again, there's no judgment here. This is how you learn. Or do you tend to pick guys who don't really know themselves? You pick the wrong guys. You pick guys who are insecure, who are needy, who are selfish, the boys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or do you get guys in the beginning where everything seems great, but then you ultimately realize that they're not really committed to you? Well, if so, this is what you need to do. These are the changes you need to make to go have that relationship you really desire. So I'd love to hear from you. Where has it been going wrong? What changes do you need to make to go out and create that relationship you really desire and deserve? I know it's out there. Make these 3 changes, go do it, and magic shows up. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.